everyone. Okay, so my cousin Laura, she's 16, she's going to her prom this year, and she just texted me. I asked her if she got any ideas for YouTube videos, and she said prom looks to help you guys, you know, pick an idea. So this is going to be most of the, like, it's going to be one hell of a long video, so, you know, get a cup of tea or something. I'm going to go through exactly how to prepare your skin especially, and then go on to the look. Now, what I will say now is that you need to be thinking about your skincare. You need to scrub your face the night before, the morning, put your spot treatment on the night before, moisturise thoroughly, because you're going to be under some hot lights, especially if you've got like a little photography thing set up like they had at ours. And so I took all my makeup off from the video I've done before, and I'm going to go through now. So once you've applied your skincare, you need a good moisturiser. Whatever it is that's good for you, whatever works for you, that's great. Then you need to be applying a primer. There are a number you can go for. I've got a couple here that are great. The Makeup Forever HD primer is probably the most expensive one here, and I'm not going to use this because the pump is broke and I need to decant it and it just goes everywhere. So I'm not going to use that. There's also the Urban Decay Complexion Primer Potion. This, it helps fill in your pores, etc. It's great. The Clarins, it's called Instant Smooth Perfecting Touch. It's great if you've got dry skin. And if you can't afford either of those, this one is from Maybelline, and it's the Smoother Skin Retexturizing Primer. I'm going to use Urban Decay right now. I'm going to apply it to my skin. This is going to help your makeup stay on, and it is key, because you don't want your makeup wearing off. When I went to prom, there was one girl who got very red cheeks. She got quite sweaty during the night, and she looked not very nice, and she didn't bring any makeup with her to fix it. So I'm just going to apply this all over my face. So for a lot of you, prom is going to be the biggest night you'll have until you get married. It's going to be a night that's about you and your friends and saying goodbye. I haven't seen a lot of people from high school since prom. We didn't have like a high school graduation or anything. It was just a leaving assembly and prom. Okay, now that's on. And we're going to leave it to sink in. Okay, so next I'm going to take this. This is called Conceal FX from Cover FX, and it's an orange tone concealer. Now you do not need to buy this, it is expensive. MAC do a little Studio Sculpt one, which I cannot find my one of, so I'm just going to use this, and it is going to conceal any dark circles. And we're just going to apply it under the eye, where the actual circles are. Don't be trying to conceal this whole area. That's very paparazzi type thing, and it's not really what we want. And this is just I think this is the Deluxe Crease Brush from Nail Techniques, but you can just use your fingers and just work it through, and it doesn't have to look perfect. You just need to conceal the area. We are going to put some foundation and concealer over this later. So that has already lifted the area in. I look a bit strange colour wise at the minute, but that's going to be covered very well soon. So while this has been happening, your primer has been filling into the pores and sinking in quite nicely. The next thing you want to do is take your concealer, and this, it's named the one off it, but it's the Collection 2000 Lasting Perfection, I think it's called, and it's just a little one that's quite cheap, and we're just going to cover this area. Again, it can look incredibly fake if you fill this whole area, so just try and cover the areas where it gets dark. Okay, so that's the concealing done, especially under the eyes. We can go back and conceal other areas of the face once we've got the foundation on. Now what I'll say is, if you go with dark colours, and you can replicate any look using similar steps, just using different colours. If you're going to go for a dark look, then it's best not to put your foundation on yet, because you will need to do some cleanup if there's any fallout. I'm going to be using the Naked palette from Urban Decay, the original one. Because you're going to get all the colours you need for like a gold eye or even a bronzy eye, and you can use whatever colours you like. Okay, so I'm going to take Urban Decay Primer Potion. You can use a paint pot from MAC, whatever you need. This is just happens to be close to me. So I'm just warming this up on the back of my hand. We're applying it over the whole lid area, right the way up to the brow bone. Okay, so now I'm going to take a MAC 239 brush, and I'm going to take this first colour, which is Sin, which is here, and I'm going to apply it to the whole mobile lid area. going to try and move in a bit closer to you. And there's going to be not too much blending, nothing too tricky. We're just going to apply it to your natural eye shape. If it's more winged, go more winged. If it's rounded, go rounded. And that's going to create your base. And now we're going to take a 217 brush. So we're going to go with Toasted now, which is this colour here. And we're literally just going to pick up the tiniest little bit on the end of the brush. We're going to place it in the crease area. Now the crease is this bit where if you put your finger in, you know, you could quite easily fit something in there. Everyone knows what the crease is anyway. I'm going to start at the outside corner and blend inwards. Now, because the flash photography, it's going to make shadows disappear. So what we're going to do is instead of getting like the flat base look, we're going to go and deepen the crease significantly. You see, that's quite actually a lot darker on camera than it actually is. But the best way to do your makeup is don't leave it too late at night. Do it while there's still daylight, because daylight is very harsh. And if you can look good in daylight, then you can look good in flash. Obviously take a flash picture of your makeup afterwards. Okay, so to blend these two together, we're just going to take the same brush and rub it in thin. And tap your brush off and just brush it along the line where they both are, where they both meet. Okay, now we've got this very harsh line along the top here, and we're going to fix that. We're going to take, this is a 224 brush, you can just use your 217, just give it a clean off. And we're just going to take this colour here. This is Virgin, any highlight colour. And don't worry about putting too much on. You can just brush excess off as you go, but this is just great for blending it into. And then just keep building your layers, blending it into the natural colour. I'm just going to take some of this excess off, just with my fingers. Take my 217 again, build a bit more colour. Now, it's obviously adding depth is the key for this, because when there's flash photography, a lot of the shadows that occur naturally on your face are going to be washed out. Your eyeliner, and you can come back to the eyeshadow later. Once you've got the full face of makeup on, you'll know whether it needs more. So I'm just going to take, this is Benefit Bad Girl waterproof eyeliner. It's the thin one, not the thick one. Waterproof, you might get teary, you might get emotional. You know, this is probably the last time you're going to be with everyone like that again. And it's your last chance to say goodbye to the teachers that looked after you, etc. So waterproof eyeliner is a must. And I'm just going to do the upper lash line. This is the Collection 2000 Lasting Gel Eyeliner. I've not used it before, and I'm not going to attempt to use the brush that came with it. I'm going to use a MAC one. I'm going to use this small MAC brush, which is a MAC 210 eyeliner brush, and it is very fine. And I'm just going to, I've not actually used this colour before. So when you pick up your colour, don't forget to wipe the excess onto the edge of the pot and just leave enough on your brush. I'm going to be looking into my mirror just here for a little while, sorry. And don't worry too much about getting a winged or anything, because this eye look, it is going to add depth to your eye without having to make too much of a wing. I'm just going to make a small one at the side here, just to lengthen the eye. The eye's sort of more coming together, it doesn't look as harsh. Now's the time to curl your eyelash. True mirror eyelash curlers, mostly because the heated ones, it can be, you don't want to get yourself in the eye with them or anything, and it would take your eye. Okay, now my eyelashes are curled. It's best to do this before mascara, otherwise you can actually end up ripping some eyelashes out. Before I do my mascara, I'm going to fill in my brows. Lingering eyebrow pencil, but you should really find one that's close to your hair colour. It should be 1 or 2 shades lighter or darker. And it's easier if you've got your eyebrows trimmed, but we're just going to use lots of small strokes. The last thing you want is just a big thick line drawn on, because that isn't going to look great in photography. And if you're looking back at your prom pictures in maybe 10 years, you don't want to be looking at it and realising any makeup mistakes. This is Bobbi Brown Skin Foundation, and it just happens to be the one that is great for my shade at the minute. Obviously you can go, obviously there are a million ways you can go. Makeup Forever HD is fantastic for videography and photography, but the powder, do not use the powder, otherwise you're going to end up looking a bit like an Indian sort of, why were they called Red Indians? I don't know. Because it will flash back white. This is great, and unfortunately it is a little too pink for my skin right now, so I will be using Bobbi Brown. Okay, so I'm just going to stipple this foundation using the same brush. Now it started to sink in and gone a bit tacky. And the stippling motion actually creates a more sort of airbrushed finish than, say, a brushing motion using an actual foundation brush. We're not going to worry about blending too much right now, we're just going to stipple. Okay. So now we've got it on and it's still quite wet. I'm going to wait for it to go a little bit more tacky. And I'm just going to pat. And this is going to remove any extra lines, anything that isn't blended. We're not dragging, we are patting. This is also going to help it sink into the skin, which is going to help it stay on longer all night. It's starting to look a bit more like skin. We're just going to finish the eye and then we're going to go back. Now obviously I wanted to get the foundation on, especially under the eye, before we finished up. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm just going to take this 217 pointed brush, you can use a Q-tip if you want. I'm going to take some of that toasted colour again, tap it off thoroughly and just push it under the lash line. And I'm just going to take the eyeliner again and we're going to line the underside, the lower lash line. Not quite the waterline. We're going to smudge it out using the Q-tip. So we are just essentially blending the eyeliner and the eyeshadow we put there together. I'm going to apply mascara. I'm going to apply as much of this as I actually can get on my lashes. There'll be a whole other thing about wearing false lashes for prom. I actually wore them and found them very uncomfortable. So I'm just going to use, this is Rimmel London Glam Eyes Day to Night waterproof mascara, and you want it to be waterproof because you might be crying, you know, or upset. And I'm going to use the thicker brush first. Okay, we're going to wait for this to dry and then we're going to use the smaller brush just to add some length. This is added volume, but I want volume and length, especially if there's flash photography. It might make your eyelashes look non-existent, and you do want them to be there, especially if you're not going to wear falsies. So while we're waiting for that, I'm just going to take, this is the MeMeMe Beat the Blues Sunbeam. This is just a massive rip-off of the Benefit Sunbeam? I'm not sure. But this is just the one that makes you look a bit more bronzed and glowy. And I'm just going to apply this to the back of my hand first. I'm just a good amount of it because I'm going to use quite a bit. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to use this. This is a small angled foundation brush. You can use your fingers, and I'm just going to apply it on the tops of the cheekbones. And this is going to look very dewy, but we are actually going to mattify it down later. We just want the highlight there. As opposed to using something like a mineralized skin finish or something from MAC, which actually are very difficult to correct if you put too much on. And you can see it's just lifting my cheekbones. And you don't really want to go any further than here. You just want to apply it to the tops of the cheeks. We're getting this very, very dewy look now, but do not worry too much because we're not going to look like grease face in flash, I promise. And just a little bit here. Okay, so now we've done that and my face is looking quite shiny. I'm going to go in with the MeMeMe Poppy Tint, which is like Posy Tint from Benefit. It's just much cheaper, about £7. And again, I'm going to apply it on the back of my hand. Now this sort of product, I find this one especially shows more in flash photography than it actually does on the skin. So try looking into a camera or something first. And we're going to go slightly off the apples of the cheek back. Okay, so now we've done that, we're going to go back and apply the second layer of your mascara. Try using the thin one, and I find this actual brush is quite flimsy, so try not to be careful. You can get some sort of like flick back. Okay, so now we've got the thick eyelash effect that everyone seems to be going for. We're going to powder the skin and do the lips. So I'm going to be using the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural. This is medium, this just happens to be my current colour. Okay, so we use the same kabuki brushes we used before. I'm just going to spray it down with Fix Plus because the mineralized blushes you can actually get wet. Don't do this with your regular powder, otherwise it'll seal itself. And it gives the skin such a nice sort of finish. I'm just going to properly load my brush up, dust it off on my arm, and concentrate on the areas particularly where you've got the shimmer going, just to mattify it enough to still give you a highlight. And then make sure your T-zone is nicely covered. Okay, so now we've mattified the face, next thing to do is the lips. Now depending on what you're wearing, what colour you're wearing, you can go for any kind of lip colour. I'm going to go with quite a nudie lip colour, and I'm going to use this, which is Dervish Lip Pencil, and I've used this to death. It is nearly all gone. It's from MAC, but just any sort of natural lip colour. I'm just going to pick this colour, which is Brave, just because it's close to me, as my lip colour. Okay, and now because your face is going to get flattened out by flash photography, I'm just going to take a contour colour. This one is Sculpt from MAC, but I do just sort of darker powder, something maybe 2 or 3 shades darker in a face powder or anything like that. I'm just going to use this big ass fluffy brush. It's actually a powder brush, and just swirl it around, don't pick up too much product. And you're just going to go, it's easy to work in one side of the face at a time, from the temple, under the cheekbone, under the jaw, like that. Okay, so another great brush for this. This is from Crown, and it's the flat bronzer brush. Not sure how much it was. I got it at IMAX like 2 years ago. And I'm going to use this for some more detailed sculpting, and I'm going to use the same brush again, and I'm just going to go down here, under the jaw, temple, and then I'm going to do down the side of my nose. Under my nose, under my bottom lip. Okay, so that is pretty much the whole look. You can go any way you want with it, but this is my sort of pretty prom look, and your face is ready for flash photography now. You're not going to get any flashback, you're not going to look shiny or oily. I'd suggest taking this in your lip colour with you in your handbag or your boyfriend's coat pocket, just to touch you up throughout the night. So thanks for watching guys, thanks for bearing with me, and I will see you soon. Bye.